Hi everyone, welcome all to online classes. Today we are going to start with the subject Applied Electronics and Instrumentation in BTech Agriculture 4th semester. So this is the teaching plan, that is the curriculum or the topics which we are going to cover in this particular subject. As from the name, that is, it is Applied Electronics and Instrumentation. Every topic is concerned to the electronics and instrumentation and control system. Okay, the first topic, that is electron energy bond in solid insulators, semiconductors and metals. That is, the first classification is conductors, semiconductors and metals. Now, after getting the difference of insulator, semiconductor and conductor, we come to focus more about the semiconductors, how the semiconductors are formed and what are the semiconductor materials representing in the periodic table. And after getting the detail of semiconductor, we are going to introduce two types of semiconductors. That is, one is p-type and second is n-type semiconductor. How the formation of p-type and how the formation of n-type semiconductors, and more in detail about their depletion width, formation of depletion width, what is the cut-in voltage, what is the forward biasing, what is the reverse biasing, and all that. And within that semiconductor, we are just going to study about the internal physics when you are just forming the p-type or n-type semiconductors, that is drift and diffusion current. Here the concept of current, that is new concept of current, is introduced, as we had seen that in conductors the current is only one of type, and that is through the electrons. But in case of semiconductor, the current is of two types. One is drift current, second is diffusion current. PN junction diode. Now, when you just form two type of semiconductors, and after that when you join these two semiconductors to each other, then that particular element is known as PN junction diode. VI characteristics of the diode, that is current voltage relationship of diode. And there are various diodes, and under the curriculum we are going to study that is Zener diode, Zener and breakdown VI characteristics of Zener diode. Now the second topic, that is diode circuits. After forming the diode, we are going to use the diode, PN junction diode, in various applications, and their circuitries are going to be studied out. The first circuit is rectifier circuit, half wave and full wave rectifier, bridge rectifier, and their comparison. Full wave rectifier with RC filter, Zener diode circuit, multiple diode circuits, photodiode and LED circuits. Third is clipper and clamper circuit. Basic mean of clipper and clamper is we are going to put the input through the any clipper circuit or clamper circuit. As from the word clipper means you are going to clip off the input signal by means of using the diode circuits, and clamper means you are going to raise the voltage level by using the means of clamper circuit through the for the input circuit, for the input quantity. Fourth is filter classification components, indicator, inductor, capacitor. Now that is diode. After diode fabrication, we can use the diode. After rectifier, we can use the diode as a filter also. And the filter, which means that in the process of filtration, various type of arrangements of the circuits can be done by using the three more components, that is inductor, capacitance and resistors. Some of the important filters are LC type filter, pi filter, active low pass and high pass filter, band pass filter, and so many filters are there. depending upon the different use. Fifth topic is NPN transistor configuration. That is, after completing the diode and their application, we move to the new topic, that is transistor. And transistor is the combination of three type of semiconductors, NPN or PNP. Either NPN, there are two type of combination. One is NPN combination and second is PNP combination, and the particular combination is known as transistor. So we are going to start with the transistor, their classification, PNP type and NPN type, and the physics, internal physics related to the transistor, and various parameters related to the transistor, that is alpha and beta relation, input and output characteristics of both NPN and PNP transistors, and their configuration for various applications. Now this transistor, that is NPN transistor and PNP transistor, after forming the new element, we are going to use that element as a application, and transistors are basically used in amplification. Oscillations, to produce oscillations, to produce various types of outputs. So the sixth topic is amplifier, general characteristics, classification, common emitter amplifier characteristics, common collector amplifier characteristics. Seventh topic is oscillator, that is frequency generator, LC oscillator. Various types of oscillators are available depending upon their configuration, circuit arrangements. First is known as LC oscillator, second is Armstrong oscillator, third is Hartley oscillator, fourth is Colpitts oscillator, and fifth is crystal oscillator. Different types of arrangements are done for producing different types of frequency signals. So these are known as the oscillators. Eighth is operational amplifier or op-amp. Op-amp are basically another type of circuit arrangement by using the diodes and transistors in addition with the basic components for performing various type of functions like addition, subtraction, division, calculating the log, and calculating the difference with the other components like logic gates and all. Okay, so they are known as operational amplifier. The ninth topic is, that is Boolean algebra, gates, logic circuits, Boolean expression. So Boolean algebra is basically related to the digital electronics, because here is one terminology or one topic, that is op-amp is used, and for understanding the op-amp you must have a knowledge of digital electronics and what are the gates. The gate logic circuits are produced through the gates. What are the various combinations we can go by forming through the gates and getting the output. And the Boolean algebra is related to the, that is 0 and 1, because we knew that computer understand the machine language that is in the form of 0 and 1, and the algebra related to that is known as Boolean algebra, and the Boolean expressions, and on the basis of that expressions we have to design the different types of gates for getting the output based on the various inputs. And after combining the gates, we are getting two type of circuits, that is sequential circuit. One is the sequential circuit and another one is the normal circuit. The sequential circuits are flip-flop types, and flip-flop is again based on the logic gates, and it is a part of digital electronics. Various type of flip-flops are there. SR flip-flop, these are the memory device. Basically these are the memory devices or memory circuits which are used for various purposes to get the output in respect to different inputs. SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, T flip-flop, D flip-flop, and so on. By the use of gates, we are going to design the counters. Counters are two types: asynchronous and synchronous counters, decade counter, down counter, ring counter, Johnson counter. Now, The 12th topic is that is measurement, that is related to the instrumentation part. Instrumentation basically relate to the measurement. Instrument and classification of instruments, static and dynamic characteristic of the instrument, general measurements to the instrument, function elements of measurement instruments, basic methods of force measurement, torque measurement, pressure measurement. 14th is the strain gauge, metallic sensing elements, unbounded strain gauges, problem associated with the strain gauges installation, types of strain gauge. Now, we start with first topic, that is your difference between the conductor, semiconductors, and insulators. And before starting to that, first of all, we knew that every material is made up of a smallest particle known as electron, protons, and neutrons. So we start our topic from the electron, energy bonds in solids, insulators, semiconductors, and metals. Semiconductors, P and type, drift current, P-N junction type, VI characteristics of diode, Zener diode, Zener breakdown, and so on. So overview. First, we are going to start with the introduction. P-type and N-type semiconductor. What are diodes? Forward bias and reverse bias. What do you mean by reverse bias and forward biasing? What is the characteristic of ideal diode? What do you mean by the Shockley equation? The equation, Shockley equation is the equation basically given by the one scientist whose name is Shockley, and he gives the relationship between the voltage and current relationship, and that is in the diodes or in the semiconductor. IV characteristic, voltage current characteristic of the diode. Now introduction. Semiconductors are materials whose electrical properties lie between conductors and insulators. For example, silicon and germanium. That is, fourth group elements are basically known as the semiconductor materials, and their properties almost lie between the conductors and semiconductors. What are P-type and N-type semiconductor? Semiconductors are classified into P-type and N-type semiconductor. P-type, a P-type material is one in which holes are majority carriers, that is, they are positively charged materials. N-type, an N-type material is one in which electrons are majority charged carriers, that is, they are negatively charged materials. Diodes, electronics device created by bringing together a P-type and N-type region within the same semiconductor lattice, used for rectifiers, LEDs, etc. So as you see through the diagram, that a P-type semiconductor, a N-type semiconductor, when they are diffused together to combine together to form a new device, then this is known as the diode or PN junction diode. In some of the book it is written PN junction diode, or some of the written books you just find it diodes. So in P-type, we knew that P-type is the semiconductor which contains the positive charge carriers as the majority charge carriers, and N-type is the semiconductor which contains the negative charge carriers as the majority charge carriers. So this is the symbolic representation of diode. A triangle, a line is drawn in front of the point, and two terminals are shown. So instead of using this diagram, we are going to represent this diagram in a symbolic form like this, and this symbol is worldwide used for representing the diode. It is represented by the following symbol, where the arrow indicates the direction of the positive current flow, where the top, that is the pointed point, is showing the direction of positive flow current. Basically, diode, when we just form the diode, the definition of diode say the diode is a device, is a semiconductor device which behaves like a valve. Diode is a semiconductor device which behaves like a valve. When you apply the voltage across this diode, that is, when you connect the positive terminal of the battery to the one side, that is, if you connect the positive terminal to the P side and negative terminal to the N side, then the current starts flowing through the diode, and having some variation in the flow of current, and we will see or discuss it later, the VI characteristic of the diode. But once you just change the polarity of the battery across the terminal of diode, you find that the current does not flow through the diode. That means in a unidirectional way or in a one way, the diode allows current to flow. In another way, it does not allow currents to flow. Due to this basic application of the diode, it is mostly used in all the semiconductor or electronic circuitries. Now the forward bias and reverse bias. What I had been discussed, that is when you just connecting the diode through the terminals of the battery. So when the current is flowing through the diode, it is known as forward biasing, and when the current is not flowing through the diode, it is known as the reverse biasing. So forward biasing, connecting positive of the diode to the positive of the supply, negative of the diode to the negative of the supply. Reverse bias, connecting positive of the diode to the negative of the supply and negative of the diode to the positive of the supply. This is the arrangement of the forward bias and the reverse bias, as you see from the diagram. And by observing the diagram, you are also see that in the forward bias, this shaded portion is smaller, while in the reverse bias, this shaded portion is wider. The basic reason is that the shaded portion basically is known as the depletion region, and depletion region is nothing. It shows that there is a no short of holes and electrons present in this particular region. And in forward case or forward bias case, this depletion width almost very short or very small. So the electrons from the p side can cross to the n side, and the hole from the n side cross to the p side, and the current starts flowing. But but in the case of reverse bias, this depletion width become more wider because all the majority charge minority charge carriers from p side attract towards the negative terminal of the battery, and they are unable to cross towards the all the positive charge carrier majority charge carriers are attracted towards the negative side, and all the majority charge carrier, that is electrons, attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery. And in this way, the majority charge carriers are not going to start crossing the barrier, and barrier size increases, and this depletion will increase more and more. So we can say that in the reverse bias, current will not start flowing. Characteristics of diode. Diode always conducts in one direction. Diodes always conduct current when forward bias. That is almost, it offers zero resistance. Diodes do not conduct when reverse bias. That is almost offered infinite resistance. Okay. This is the VI characteristic of ideal diode. If I am talking about for an ideal diode, and if I want to draw the graph, VI characteristic graph of an ideal diode, so you see that on the instant when you start applying the terminal in forward biasing, the current start increasing because it offers zero resistance. Okay, so current will increase on a very short moment, that is on the zero time. Momentarily it increase to the maximum. And if we change the reverse, or if we change the polarity of the diode or the board battery, then you see that when you increase the voltage through the battery, the current will not going to increase by a single unit. And as you go on increasing the voltage in reverse bias, the current will not going to increase because it offers the infinite resistance in the reverse biasing. So this is the VI characteristic of ideal diode. But in actual or in practice, this graph does not hold because practically the diode starts the current in forward bias, not like this. It increases exponentially, and in reverse bias, as you increase the voltage in reverse bias, the current will going to start, but after a certain period of applied voltage. When you increase the voltage level of its maximum, then the current start increasing in the reverse bias, and in that condition we can say the diode will not remain more diode. It will burn out or it will be not in use. Okay, because the basic parameter, basic characteristic of the diode is vanish out. So, and that particular potential is known as avalanche breakdown or avalanche voltage, where the diode will not behave like a diode. This is the practical VI characteristic of a diode. I had already told you that in the forward biasing, when you applied the do the forward biasing across the diode, the current will increase according to the exponential form. As you increase the voltage, you just reach to the knee voltage. Knee voltage is our cut-in voltage, is the voltage based on the which type of diode it is, that is on the germanium based diode or it is a silicon based diode, because the cut-in voltage for germanium based diode is 0.3 volt, and for cut-in voltage for silicon based diode is of 0.6 volt. Because cut-in voltage, till to cut-in voltage, the diode is not starting conducting in the forward bias case, but after the cut-in voltage, that is the depletion width, after crossing the depletion width, the current start increasing exponentially and increase to its maximum as you increase the voltage. But as you see that here we are increasing the current till to 0.6 volt and current start increasing momentarily, but in the reverse bias the current start increasing, but it is up to 100 volt. So after 100 volt, if current increases, then it is the case of burning out of diode. It is a case of burning out of diode. Rectification. Converting AC to DC is accomplished by the process of rectification. Two processes are used: half wave rectification, full wave rectification. Half wave rectification, that is by using the diode as a circuit element. You can use the diode for wave rectification. That is, if you want to convert alternating current into direct current, we use a diode as a rectifier. And the two types of rectifiers are there. One is half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. Half wave rectifier basically rectifies the half wave of the pulsating AC. And as you see, still the pulses which are not fully rectified, and you are not getting a constant DC. So half wave rectifier, somewhere we just need the half wave rectifiers for various purposes. So definition of half wave rectifier: simplest process used to convert AC to DC. A diode is used to clip the input signal, excursion of one of polarity to zero polarity. This is the Shockley equation, that is the current voltage relationship given for a diode, because according to the Ohm's law for conductor, we had seen the V equals to IR is given by the ohms for conducting material. But for the semiconducting material, V equals to IR does not holds good. And particularly the equation for representing the current and voltage relationship is equals to ID equals to IS exponential e की power Vd upon neta Vt minus 1, where Vt is known as Kt by Q and K is known as the Boltzmann constant, T is known as the temperature, and Q is the electronic charge, and Vt is the thermal voltage, which is equals to near about 626 millivolt. Is is the saturation current, ID is the diode voltage, or Vd is the diode voltage, and neta is the emission coefficient, varies from 1 or 2. It's depending upon the case where some of the time we use neta as 1 and some of the time we use neta as 2. Thank you. Thank you for all. Thank you all for today's lecture. We will continue the same or from the onwards continuation of this Shockley equation in the next lecture. Now, transistor. What is transistor? Transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electronic signals and electrical power. Transistors are one of the basic building blocks of modern electronics. It is composed of semiconductor material, usually with at least three terminals for connection to external circuit. That is, it is three-terminal device. A voltage or current applied to one pair of the transistor terminals controls the current through the another pair of terminals. Because the control output power can be higher than the control input power. A transistor can amplify a signal. Today, some transistors are packaged individually, but many more are embedded in integrated circuits. So, if I just talk about the brief history about the transistor, Austro-Hungarian physicist Julius Edgar Lilienfeld proposed the concept of field effect transistor in 1926, but it was not possible to actually construct a working device at that time. The first working device to be built was point contact transistor, invented in 1947 by American physicist John Bardeen and Walter Brattain while working under William Shockley at Bell Labs. The three shared the 1956 Nobel Prize in Physics for the achievement or for that achievement or invention of the transistor. The most widely used type of transistor is the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, that is MOSFET, which was invented by Muhammad Atala and Daun Khan at Bell Labs in 1959. Transistor revolutionized the field of electronics and paved the way for smaller and cheaper radios, calculators, and computers, among the other things. So, after getting the brief definition of transistor, the evaluation of transistor, what is the importance of transistor, definition and transistors types, transistor symbol and operations, advantages of transistor, latest in transistor technology, references, and quiz or questionnaires need to be covered under this topic. So, there are so many transistors are in existence. One of the example is shown in the picture. Semiconductors ability to change from conductor to insulator can either allow current or prohibit current to flow. We know the property of semiconductors. Useful as switch, but also as an amplifier. Essential part of many technological advances. In 1906, an American inventor in physics, Lee Forest, made the vacuum tube triode or Audion, as he called it, used in radios, used in early computers. Prior to transistor, vacuum tube triodes are in use, or audions as he called. The first transistor in 1947, as I had discussed, that John Bardeen and Walter Brattain devised the first point contact transistor, which is look like this. Now Murray's law. The scientist Murray is saying that it is an observation made by Jordan E. Murray in which he predicted that number of transistors inside an integrated circuit could be doubled every 24 months, or every year, or every uh, 2 years, at the density that also minimized the cost of transistor. Murray had already declared that the miniaturization will go on as the time moves on, and the time comes in a this way that miniaturization is at the nano level, and the calculations and the capacity will be doubleized or tripleized and more faster, and the cost will also be reduced. So this is given by Moore's transistor definition. Transistor is an electronic device made of three layers of semiconductor material that can act as an insulator and conductor. The three-layer transistor is also known as bipolar junction transistor. BJT, or broadly transistor as a BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Why this is termed as bipolar junction transistor? Because as we see in the further slides, there are two junctions. What the junction which we had discussed in the diode, or the point of contact between two semiconductors, p or n type semiconductors, when I got diffused or join each other, they form a junction, and that junction is known as the depletion width, or the junction of the diode. Similarly, the configuration of transistor is, or the composition of transistor is done by three semiconductors, either PNP or NPN. So it is a three-layer transistor, also known as bipolar junction transistor. That's why it is bipolar, and to the each layer, one contact is coming out, and the pairing, through the pairing of contacts, input is given and the pair of contacts output is taken out. So it is a three-layer transistor known as bipolar junction transistor, or BJTs. The term bipolar refers to the use of both holes and electrons as the charge carriers in the transistor structure. There are two types of BJTs. One is NPN and second is PNP. This is the basic construction of a transistor, a NPN type or a PNP type. As you see in the slide, the diagram shows basic epitaxial planar structure. First, you take the substrate. On that substrate, you use a collector, semiconductor as a collector, then a semiconductor as a base, then a semiconductor as a emitter. And we bring out the contacts for collector, base, and emitter differently, and it is upper layer is covered by the oxide. Metallized contacts are shown, And these are the some symbolic representation, NPN type, PNP type. And the terminals are known as ammeter, base, and collector. The middle one is almost always a base, and though two junctions are to be shown by a pink color text: base emitter junction, base collector junction. So this is the real-time configuration of a transistor. Region of transistors. A transistor has three regions, namely emitter heavily doped, base lightly doped, collector moderately doped. So the three regions, emitter, base, and collector, and their doping level are as follows: emitter is always heavily doped, base is lightly doped, and collector is moderately doped. Transistor symbols for PNP and NPN type. Basically, we use the symbols in mathematical calculation or in the figure when we are just going to join the transistor as a circuitry diagram. So this is the symbol for NPN. How to identify the symbols for NPN and PNP? If you observe that a arrowhead is showing, one arrowhead is moving outward and one arrowhead is moving inward. So if one arrowhead is moving from base to emitter side, then this is the symbol for NPN transistor. And one arrowhead is moving from emitter to base side, this is the symbol used for PNP transistor. This arrowhead has a significance why these arrowheads are to be assigned like this. As we go to the physics behind the transistor, because these arrowheads show the movement of charge carriers or the movement of current flow. So when you just go into the physics of the transistor, how the transistor is working, when the emitter base junction or emitter base terminals are forward bias or base collector junction reverse bias, because the working of the transistor depends upon the biasing of the terminals, pair of terminals. So transistor works in four different regions. We will see in the next slides. So to remove or to remember the NPN or PNP, you just memorize that NPN is having the arrowhead moving from base to emitter, and in PNP the arrowhead is moving from emitter to base, that is in reverse situation. So keep in mind the one symbol and the reverse is the another. Now this is the transistor operation. This is analogy, water analogy. We are just understand the operation of transistor by the analogy of water valve. Suppose a water is coming or to your house needs. So before entering the water, you just kept a wall. So water is continuously emitting or continuously entering to the individual houses. There is a wall which is used to regulate the flow of water. When you want to open it, you turn it in clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever the procedure to open it, and the water enter and it collects to the tank or the need according to your choice of the household needs. So in a very similar way, emitter is continuously giving, and it is regulated or controlled by the base as a valve, and through the base we are going to collect it. So this is the analogy: force, voltage per current, water flow, current amplification. Transistor biasing: the base emitter junction is forward biased. When the first case, if I'm discussing the first case, the base emitter base junction is forward bias and the base collector junction is reverse bias. Then the equation of the emitter is given as collector current plus base current. Okay, according to the Kirchhoff current law, the incoming current is equals to the outgoing current. So the at we are talking about on junction, the current is coming from the emitter side and it is equal to the base current plus collector current. Operating regions of BJT. So what I had discussed that transistor work in 4 regions. First is active region, which I had discussed. The emitter base junction is forward bias, and the collector base junction is reverse bias, is known as active region. Second is the cutoff region. That means no current flows or totally is off, no cutoff, no flow. Linear region, on intermediate control current flow. These are depending upon the biasing of terminal pairs. And the last one is the saturation region. Types of transistors. These are the types of transistors as per the need where we are going to use, because transistor works like a switch. So it is having different use depending upon the low voltage to high voltage. BJT, bipolar junction transistor. UJT, unipolar junction transistor. FET, field effect transistor. MOS, metal oxide semiconductor. CMOS or PMOS. Transistor application. When used as an electronic switch, the transistor is normally operated alternatively in cutoff and saturation region. So cutoff region is the open switch and saturation region is the closed switch, as you see in the diagrams. And these are the some notations which are shown in the figure. RB stand for the base resistance, RC stand for the collector resistance, IC collector current, IB base current, VCC, that is applied potential. Similarly, in saturation mode, the collector currents comes out to be in the saturation, and in the cutoff, collector currents come out to be equal to 0. Transistors and amplifier. Yes, transistor is used as amplifier due to the small change in input current or base current to the collector current will mimic the with greater amplitude. A small change in base current gives a larger change in the collector current. This is called the basic working principle of an amplifier. A small signal is get amplified through the means, and this is the most important criteria or most important application of a transistor. As you see in the figure, Input wave or sinusoidal wave is having a small amplitude is applied as an input, and the output is to be obtained, in which the amplitude of the sinusoidal wave is somewhat higher than the input wave, so your signal get amplified. So in electronically circuits or in communication, the amplification is required. Therefore, transistor plays a very important role over there in the amplification of signals. Future of transistor: molecular electronics, carbon nanotube transistors, nano inspiration wire transistors, quantum computing. CMOS devices will add functionality to CMOS non-volatile memory, optoelectronics, sensing. CMOS technology will address new markets, macroelectronics, biomedical devices. Biology may provide for new technologies, bottom-up assembly, human intelligence. These are the future of transistor. That's mean no area left without the use of transistor, as you see. What's new in transistor technology? 3D transistor made using tri-gate transistor on its 20 nm I technology. Advantage of tri-gate transistor: more than 50% power reduction at constant performance, 37% performance increase at lower voltage, improved performance and efficiency. These are the references. You can go to these references for further study of transistor in detail. Now it's some quiz or questionnaire time. A transistor has 1 p-n junction, 2 p-n junction, 3 p-n junctions, 4 p-n junctions. Yes, obviously it is having 2 p-n junction. We had seen in the last slides that it's a bipolar junction transistor, so it is 2 p-n junction. Second, the number of depletion layers in the transistor, as it is 2 p-n junctions, so obviously it has 2 depletion layers. So option D is right answer. The base of transistor is lightly doped. The element that has the biggest size in the transistor is, which is having the biggest size, or the which element is having the biggest size in the transistor, which we had discussed that collector is having the biggest size. In a PNP transistor, the current carriers are acceptor ions, donor ions, free electrons, and holes. Yes, it is a PNP type transistor. So emitter, base, collector, and base is lightly doped, and emitter is moderately and collector is heavily doped. So according to the semiconductor theory, here P is having the majority charge carriers are holes. So in PNP transistor, the current carriers are holes. Okay. The collector, the sixth question, the collector of a transistor is heavily, moderately, lightly doped. Yes, it is moderately doped. Okay. Thank you. This is all for today. In next lecture, we are going to learn with the working of transistor in detail, that is in the active, cutoff, saturation, and non-inverted mode of working of the transistor, and what is the physics, how the transistor works, how the equations are derived, and how to deal with the questions. Thank you.